Welcome everybody to Saw Acres. Man, did I shop myself right into a pickle. Let me explain. I go to a lot of auctions, just local, like estate auctions, that kind of stuff. Went to one a couple days ago from a fab shop going out of business, and I scored the 16-foot car hauler trailer full. Took like an hour and a half to load it. It's probably 5,000 pounds worth of cutoffs. So we've got probably, was this 1 inch, huge chunks of 1 inch. I've got diamond plate, we've got expanded steel, 1/2 inch, 3/4. And the bottom here, I mean, it's almost 4 inches deep, this pile is, so it's a lot. But I've got a bunch of stainless under here. There's a bunch of aluminum under this, aluminum diamond plate. But I got nowhere to put it. So that brings us to today's video. Hey, before I get into the actual project itself, thanks for watching, everybody. I invite you to please like and subscribe. And if you've got any recommendations on projects you'd like to see or things that you've seen around here that I've done, you'd like a tutorial or anything, please put it down in the comment section. I'll be sure to reply to everything that gets written down there, and let's get to it. Alright, so about 6 months ago I made the sheet goods rack, mostly for aluminum, since I picked up a pile of it. A little over 4 foot tall, it's about 10 feet long. It worked great, but I ended up filling it up almost immediately. I had a bunch of OSB and plywood in there as well, but I made it for sheet metal. Now I've got all this extra sheet metal, and I got to looking in lean-to out here, and it is an absolute disaster. Got all this piping and angle iron, just a little bit of everything. 1x lumber. So yesterday I made this little sheet goods rack. I'm putting all the plywood and things that probably won't be damaged too much if it gets a little bit of moisture on it. I've got some pegboard, which I'd like to keep more dry, but most of this can handle a little bit. So this is the south and the west facing openings of the lean-to, so we get a lot of, our predominant winds around here, prevailing winds, are from the west, which is that direction, so it blows this way. Now I got a tarp up here in the lean-to that I roll down in the winter time. We just roll it down, cover up this side. That side I keep covered with plastic. Eventually I'll cover it with some steel. So I'm not too awfully worried about this. Now I'm going to build a pipe rack. That's today's project. I think I'm going to put a 4x4 up along the top here. Got a pile of rebar with that score a couple days ago. And here's the supervisor, always out watching. I got this pile of this rebar out here. I mean, we got 1 inch rebar, 20-foot sticks of it. Whole bunch of 3/4, I think it is. It might be 5/8, but I think it's 3/4 rebar. There's some 1/2 inch, some 3/8, huge long sticks. So I think I'm going to take 1 stick of this 20-foot rebar, 3/4, drill some holes in a 4x4, probably this guy. Old, I'm not using it for anything else. 8-footer. I'm going to mount it horizontally up here, probably about 7 feet high, and I use the rebar as dividers coming in and out. Once that's done, I can move most of the piping over here to an actual rack, and I think over here is where I'm going to actually make the sheet metal rack. Most of it's shorter, less than 6 feet long, so I might take the longer pieces, put them inside, but anyway, that's probably not going to happen today. I have a feeling that this is going to take longer than this afternoon. So that's where we're going to start, and let's get to it. So the first part of project, lean-to cleanup, we'll call it. I got to get all this other crap out of the way. Got the tractor fired up, bring it over a big pallet. I'll just stack it all on that 10-foot pallet, just get it out of the way. 50-gallon drums work great for storing cut-off lumber, I use them for yard tools, you know, shovels, rakes, hose. We're good. Next, we got to get the area leveled out, cleaned up. Alright, got my area pretty much raked out. Most of the big rocks are out of there. Doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just going to slap a pallet on there, or a couple pieces of pallets. And it's just to keep the bottoms of the pipes off the ground. That's it. So I'm just putting these, I guess you'd call them stringers, but it's really just spacers, because I need to get a mounting surface out away from the ribs. So, just using 4-foot 2x4s. Since most of my pipes are 8 to 10 feet, I think I'm going to try to get the rack to be about 7 feet, maybe 6.5. You know, I'm about 6 foot tall. I'd like them to stick out about that far, so I want it to be over my head. So next I'm going to get the 4x4 out here, set it in place so I can get some countersunk holes for mounting. Just like that. I really like these GRK fasteners, but man, are they expensive. So, you know, I've got 6-inch and 4-inch fasteners, 5/16. The 4-inchers just are too short to make it through, and the 6-inchers are going to end up punching into the steel behind the 2x4, so can't do that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use a paddle bit, drill a countersink to the right depth for the 4-inchers, so that the 4-inchers won't go all the way through. Okay. And I'll just use a small piece of tape to mark, basically make a depth gauge on my bit. Perfect. Okay. Drill our countersinks. I'll get this bugger mounted. And using these 5/16 guys, I drill a 3/16 pilot hole, mostly so that I don't split the smaller stuff. The big stuff it can handle it, but more of a just in case. Then, I'll do the first. I guess I wouldn't have that much. Now, get this guy up and in position. Alright, so we countersunk all the holes, got it actually mounted. I want to do this first so that I know where to drill when I lay out the pattern for the rebar holes. This way, those holes are already there, they're pre-drilled. The holes in the 2x4s are pre-drilled. I'm going to leave these lags here, construction screws, whatever you want to call them, to hold it in place. That way when I get back out here with all the rebar jammed in it, I got help, and I don't have anything to do with drilling or alignment. All the holes should just line right back up. Make the install a lot easier once it's heavy. Alright, so let's get these out of here, take it back down, bring it in the barn, and get drilling. Okay, we're doing the holes now. I've got this cool old, it's called a Milwaukee hole shooter. Trying to get, wrestle this big 4x4 up onto the drill press. Because the thing is, I want these holes as square as possible. That way, when the rebar sticks out of them, it's nice and straight, and they're all even all the way across. I already cut all the rebar. I don't know if you can see it on the floor over there. I measured out the hole. I cut a 3/4 inch hole, and it seems to hold pretty well. But the problem is, this hole shooter just doesn't have enough juice to push that paddle bit. It really struggled. So I'm gonna drill a pilot hole, works like that, to try to keep it straight, and then I'll use the paddle bit and the DeWalt cordless there and we'll see how it works. I don't really have many other options right now because I'm not gonna. I'll just hand drill them before I try to wrestle that thing up on a drill press. So I've got a couple pilot holes. Gonna get a couple more, and then we'll throw the paddle bit down it and see how straight they are. This thing's pretty cool. All right. Not too shabby. Didn't even use a full battery for that. This floor has a low spot in it right here, so I'm going to move this. All right. The rack is together. Getting ready to drag it out, hang it up, see how it looks on the wall. They're not exactly perfect, but they're darn close. And they're all pretty level as far as the same depth. Again, not perfect, but pretty pleased with it. One of them, I think, one that looks a little low right here, I think that one was the end piece, cut off just like a ½ inch short. See outside. Definitely gotta know what it's in. I like it. Okay, now let's get y'all a better look at this. So it's just about 7 feet off the ground, and that should be perfect for putting different pipes, you know, galvanized pipe. Well, really anything that's over in that mess over there. All right, we'll get the floor taken care of next, and then start moving stuff. All right, moment of truth. Look at this. 2 full racks. Oh man, this is great. All this other stuff still got to get moved and it's going to get used, but holy cow, so much nicer. I got junk in the way over here, but wonder if, doggone it. Look at that. Holy cow. Hey everybody, I figured I'd do a quick wrap up to the pipe rack and then the steel rack. So took a day or so to get the pipe rack and steel stock rack, you know, for the longer skinny stuff. I think it worked out perfect for what I'm using. And then the sheet goods rack, and then we got the steel rack. And I didn't video any of the steel rack construction, but it's just 2-inch square tubing, about 50 inches of clearance between the top and the bottom, and then just some rebar welded up to the bottom, and it worked out beautifully. I can't believe how nice that worked out. So all the sheet goods, that basically cut-offs that was in that trailer, starting off with the 1-inch thick stuff down here, and then basically quarter inches here, and then everything bigger and 1/4 inch, and then working our way down in steel. And then we've got the stainless, all the aluminum, all the diamond, all the expanded steel, and then steel diamond. and it really helped clean up all the sheet metal. And that will wrap up this video. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this helps somebody out. Please give it a like if it did, and if you got any questions or comments, please throw it down there in the comment section, and I'll get back to you.